So my own Inquisitor is a Dalish Elf Mage. You know, he started off being able to cast this lightning spell, but I ended up going down the cold route for the most part. Pretty frequently I would cast the spell that would ice somebody up and freeze them and slow them down. But then I over time I kind of got used to this Blizzard spell, which is a big area of effect spell that would cause chills for everybody that was caught in, for every enemy that was caught in that area. That was handy sometimes, but other times it wasn't so handy because when you use it, your stamina just keeps going down and down and down and down and down.
So I chose a Dalish elf and a rogue, and I focused on the archery tree to start from, which basically gives you like a powered up shot, and then I quickly unlocked this sweet backflip shot that like you backflip and you do this shotgun blast. It's kind of an evasion thing, which was good because I was starting to get people up in my face and I needed a way to get away quickly from them. Backflips did the trick.
There's a few abilities that you get as a two-handed warrior that I think are uniquely situated to do only in real time, like they just wouldn't work in the tactical view, which is kind of like heartbreaking because I so love Dragon Age 1 in the tactical style, but one of the abilities is you block an incoming strike, which you have to hit, you have to line up the animation perfectly, and you can hold it down, but it just drains your stamina, so you kind of want to get it right. But the good thing is it interrupts any animation you've started. If you do another ability that has like a long build-up and then you immediately block because an incoming attacker is about to hit, then you'll activate the ability and then you do a counter immediately. And if you upgrade it, you'll knock them down, which then leads to another attack that you have that basically just slams the ground with your sword, and it does like massive damage to enemies that are already knocked down.
In the early going, the archer actually didn't like end up being that much about skill, so I tried to pick, it was just kind of like, hey, I'm back here, I'm shooting. I don't have to move. So I wanted to like mix it up. I tried to pick stuff that would allow me to be a little more strategic, like gain bonus damage if you're elevated. So I would always try to find high ground. There was one for that power shot that you can unlock that allows it to penetrate targets and do bigger damage to the subsequent targets, which was really good. I'm really enjoying that one. And then I unlocked this one, which is basically like monster shot. You kind of like pull it way back, you aim, and it takes a few seconds, and then like you blow the first dude up for a huge amount of damage and knock him on his ass, and it's really fun. So I've been enjoying the archer a bunch more.
And another one that is just more ridiculous, but you have to hold down whatever button you have it. It's a whirlwind attack. So I just take my humongous weapon and you hold it down. The longer you hold it down, you can upgrade it so it does more damage the longer you do it. So as long as you're not interrupted by another attack, you can just like walk around the battlefield doing circles. The damage is just going up and up and not up. So yeah, being a warrior is actually a lot of fun in this game because of the real-time-ness.
It's interesting in Dragon Age because you can choose party members based on what they bring to combat. I'm not one of those people. I choose party members based on who I like my favorite characters as opposed to my favorite combatants.
Because I'm an archer, yeah, it basically means that Varric, as soon as I got the option to have another party member, Varric stayed home. Because I'm like, we have this, I got this covered, I got this niche.
My favorite would be me going along, having Cassandra there as more or less a tank, bringing along Iron Bull as more of a damage dealer. I always gave him two-handed stuff so that he could really wallop enemies. And that fourth slot, I went back and forth. I would take Varric sometimes because I like when Varric and Cassandra interact.
Dorian and Vivian, there's two mages you can pick up for your companions. I ran the tables on Spirit for Dorian and Fire for Viviana, and then having both of them in a party at the same time is like such a good compliment because the Spirit is just super protective of everybody. He does like a barrier, he does a resurrect, and Viviana is just pure damage with a firewall, fireball, explosions, area of effects. So it's just, instead of having a mage that's balanced, having two mages that are just min-maxed. That's been a cool thing to do.
So when I got Sarah, a rogue also, I spec'd her into the like backstab daggery one. Doing the backstabs, you can upgrade one of her stabs so that she executes it and then turns invisible. And so you can kind of scoot away, kind of approach another guy, hit him with a double stab. So that was kind of fun. And that party balance ended up working out pretty well.
I feel like combat was at its best when you were closing some of the tougher rifts. The combat is typically pretty easy if you're going out and doing things that are meant to be in your, in your general level. So you go out and you can typically spend your time in third person and do your stuff and let your party members do their things. Occasionally switching to party members to either drink a potion or to drop a bomb or something like that. It can be kind of tricky. Like if you, from the tactical view, if you try to like, say, revive a fallen character, sometimes, the AI will take over and they'll stop doing what you want them to do and then just start doing something else. So it can be a little micromanagey, even from a tactical camera point of view. It's not quite the Holy Trinity in the sense that you don't really have healers, but you do have buffers. So it's best to just let your tank be tanky, and then get everybody else out there to deal damage and buff up the party and debuff the enemy.